Let's do it.
And you will know my name is DSTROY.
That's the fuck I'm talking about, man.
And I'm hitting them hard. Sirius XM shade45. Welcome back, everyone. I am DSTROY, excited because I'm with two generals right here. When I say generals, the thing that's great is that we seen some things and we survived the 90s. We seen women we had crushes on fall to the wayside because of the epidemic that was happening in the 90s. And we still rised. We still came, fought through and broke through. And I got to tell you right here, right now, I'm with none other than Imam Thug and V12. What's up, generals?
What's up? Yeah. What's good, people?
Life is amazing. So first, I wanna have a conversation with Imam Thug. My bro, you was out here in the streets, and then I guess was the time when you crossed paths with tragedy. Did that say, you know what, maybe I gotta get my shit together and figure something out?
Well, it was kind of like the opposite, you know what I'm saying? I think, you know what I'm saying, actually Traj was looking for me, you know what I'm saying? Like he came, like he was like, yo, you know, you just came home, man, you know what I'm saying? He's like, yo, I got this going on. And, you know, I was just, you know, just running around, still doing what I do. And I kind of like went back up north again. And then the second time, you know, my people was just like, yo, Traj is in the backyard right now. You know what I'm saying? And he wants to talk to you right now. So I came in the backyard, you know what I'm saying? And then he was just like, yo, man, you know, you need to just, you know what I mean, do this. So I just started doing promotions. I wasn't even an MC at that time.
Yeah, 25 to life.
Yeah, I was doing a lot of promo. This is before CNN got their deal. It was like 25 dolo.
Yeah, I remember that. Salute Stretch, because Stretch was definitely a strong component for what Queens was doing as far as that sound as well.
Absolutely.
The lineage. So you wasn't an MC, but you were inspired being around guys, you know, doing they shit that you like, oh shit, maybe I could finesse this real quick.
Well, what inspired me for real, I'm gonna be honest with you, what inspired me for real was one day we was going to Platinum Island Studios. I think Havoc was there recording Murder Music or one of them joints, the Infamous album or something like that. And we walked in there, and when I walked in there, like I saw all the homies and shit. I saw like Godfather sitting there, like writing shit. I was like, Godfather, what you doing? He was like, yo, son, it's on. I was like, what? So I just started, I saw Noid over there. I started saying, like, all the homies was there, like, I was like, oh, hold on for a minute. I said, yo, if I can get right with this, you know what I'm saying, then I can make, listen, this could be a really good look. And that's what it was. But the inspiration came from, you know what I'm saying, the homies from the projects, right there in the mix.
You see homies who were knuckleheads kind of staying disciplined in something right there for the first time. It was something that was captivating to you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So if you can, because I know you were flying the wall in a lot of situations, a lot of scenarios that you've witnessed from CNN, Traj, of course. If you can, what was one of those moments that you was like, man, this is kind of dope. This is kind of fly.
I think that everything, man, you know, everything was exciting to me. You know, I was
because
always
it took
like
you out. It took you out of like your habitat, you know.
So yeah, it did. It allowed me to, you know, spend time away from doing one thing and focusing on another, which was more productive for me. Right. You know what I'm saying? Which is productive for all of us, because it was the same thing pertaining to everybody. You know what I'm saying? All of us was going through that same thing of trying to find our way out through music.
Yeah, I know. That was, you know, and V12 in here too, man. V12.
Facts. What's poppin'?
You was out there in the environment when everything was cooking and really getting that little town in the map. And I got to tell everybody, if you don't know this, the first place that Wi-Fi was ever tested was in the Queensbridge houses.
Oh, wow.
The reason why is because there were so many humans in that little area, and it was a controlled section.
Okay.
That's where they tried that technology.
Oh, wow.
And, you know, you guys didn't know about it. That's why y'all got radiation and trees growing out your back and all that shit.
Yeah,
know it.
yeah. See, that's that. If we had this information, pipe would have helped us in the courts a little bit back in the days, man. A little technical information won't hurt nobody. You know what I'm
Maybe
saying?
that's why we still look so young too. You know, because the Wi-Fi radiation. I don't know. I mean,
So V12, you know, you've been a part of some great situations as well. You know, what was it like? Even though you're watching the evolution of a Nas, but the appreciation to be like, all right, the homie wants you to come and rock with him on a joint.
I can't even put it in words. You know, it's still to this day. It's like it's a blessing. I had no idea I was gonna be in that room. I was at Nana's house when it happened. And shout out to Lake, man. Lake Luciano. He had came and got me from Nana house. You know what I mean? I'm just like, yo, V12, I need you on this song. He ain't tell me who was on it and who was gonna be on it. All he said was, I need you on this song. So I came with him. Mike DeLorean, shout out to Mike DeLorean. He was there.
Yeah, facts.
And the rest was history. The man walked in the door, you know, I almost fainted like I was at a Michael Jackson concert. Word, in the front row, you know. But, you know, like I said, even though we from the same hood, like we still look up to each other. Like I look up to everybody, Imam, everybody, Traj, you know what I'm saying? Everybody, you know, who paved the way, especially in the hood, you know what I'm saying? So me even being on a song with Nas or being in the same room with him was a lot. You know what I'm saying? Well, you know, period. So
yeah, shout out to
Esco, man. Shout out to Nas.
Let's go. Let's because you brought up Stretch, and I gotta tell you, this era was this was a very dynamic era in the Stretch Armstrong and Barbito time when they were kind of like parting ways. One was falling in love with more like the underground scene.
Absolutely.
Stretch was doing more the thug shit. You know what I mean? But this was the pocket right here. Let's go into this True Confession, George. What can you tell us about that session, the joint?
On True Confessions? Oh man, very explosive. Actually, I was already had like the intro and everything going. When Traj walked in that room, man, it was like it was rocking in that spot. All he had to do was come and lay them verses down. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much the thing with me. You know, even with CNN and everybody, I always like set the tone, driver's seat, all of that. I set the tone for those records. These guys don't even hear that record until they come in the studio, and that shit is blaring through the speakers. My shit is done. You know what I'm saying? I'll be in the studio early.
Let's go.
True Confessions.
Right here, Sirius XM Shade 45. Welcome back, Sirius XM. Here with some wonderful individuals. Now, I wanted to ask you guys something about New York culture, right? Because I just seen Nas did the Supreme Team. Congratulations to him for directing that.
Absolutely.
Shout out to Nas, man.
Absolutely.
Do you feel there is a sensationalism, kind of what we do with our culture, because we sensationalized a lot of our stories to a point where the younger generation was so enamored on how amazing that looked that when they got into it, they fell through the cracks as well. Do we feel not only as Queensbridge cats, because this shit is kind of like transition, like a little bit some of the things that we did. Because when I watched the Supreme thing, I watched at the end of the day, Prince and Preem kind of were like, we kind of dropped the ball. We fucked up.
Yeah.
Man, I think that it was. I think it's more. You know, I think it was more of the atmosphere, man. That in the environment that we were engulfed in, man. That kind of shaped a lot of what we went through in the past. You know, a lot of us was not exposed to the other side of life. You know, the other side of life where we can, you know, still make a lot of money without having to, you know, put our life on the line, right? You know, so it's like, you know, it's education. It's like how do I empower myself to be removed from one space to another? You know what I'm saying? That comes from education. It comes from experience. You know what I'm saying? This is not a textbook thing. This is not something that you learn in college. You know what I'm saying?
There is no blueprint for what it was we was going through.
Not at all.
Right.
And you know, coming up and watching, you know, Ron Artest's movement and what discipline he had is tricky because he fell in love with ball, right? And that's a different thing. So imagine to all the listeners out there and all the young heads, imagine you're so in love with something, but all your homies are in the street.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a wild.
It's a wild dynamic, man.
Shout
but you
out
know
to
what?
Ron too.
Shout out to Ron
Yeah.
Artest. You know what I'm saying? That's a fact. And I think it just takes a certain level of discipline, man. Even as an artist, you know, in my opinion, you know, you gotta try to stay out your own way as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, you going after something, you have a purpose, you're going after something with a purpose. And sometimes we can get in our own way. Right. So we have to kind of master ourselves a little bit so we can navigate a little bit better. And when we learn to do that, we can learn to be around for days like this. You know what I'm saying? That's
Absolutely.
math.
All right,
Yeah.
so I'm speaking to you right now, right? So you came up with Ron Artest, right? Before
Yeah,
he changed
I
his
came up
name
with
to
everybody.
Yasin
Yeah.
Bey.
Came up with
Yeah,
everybody in
of
the
course.
Queensbridge.
All right, cool.
Everybody.
So you watching him do his thing at Malice in the Palace, right?
Mm.
And you like, yo, Ron Wildin' or yo, Ron Wildin'.
Mm.
It was both.
It was both.
It was both.
For me, it was normal because that's Ron. Yeah, everybody knows. Like, yeah, he's a very nice guy. Let's be clear, but do not push that man's buttons, especially for no apparent reason. You know, you know, it's just not a wise thing to do. You know, and anybody with some sense that knows him will tell you that. I guess these guys didn't. I mean, you know, didn't read the handbook. You know,
The league didn't know. The league didn't know
read the handbook.
that they was bringing Queensbridge
Yo,
to the NBA.
Yeah.
Can
read the
I talk
handbook.
to y'all real quick? So do you after a while like figure out you have to navigate this space and this game? Because everything we were taught about in the 90s and the 80s, all that represent keep it real shit,
Right.
it didn't matter.
Yeah, it didn't.
Right.
But we
So,
thought it did.
We thought it fucking did, and I
Yeah.
felt like at times we were like lied to by our OGs.
Right.
And even fucking rappers at times where I'm like, wait, hold on, y'all just taught us the whole game backwards.
Exactly.
Suckers run this shit. Like
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
that's
I mean,
deep, man.
that's kind of synonymous to, like, you know what I'm saying, us as a people getting fooled, like, you know, thinking that jail is cool, right?
Mhm.
Then you go in jail, you're like, damn, this is for suckers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't need to be here right now. Like, I'm wasting my time. Like a motherfucker, that's just going slow. You killing ya.
Yeah.
Me, boy, I tell you. So we learn to value time, right? We learn patience. We learn, we have to master ourselves. We got to have knowledge of self so that we can have some type of direction in life. Things like that. When we
Right.
get to exercise these things, we get to inspire the people around us. And then these people around us, they get to become not only inspired, but they become empowered. Not only by what we say, but what we do. You know what I'm saying? They see what we do, they get involved in what we do.
Right.
And this is what keeps them, you know what I'm saying, active in an empowerment environment. That's what I'm about.
you know what? If there's anything I could say that I'm good with
Yeah.
about our time is the knowledge of self, the whole
Right.
5% nation, the whole rock cam energy, the
Right.
king.
Yes.
It made us feel like kings. It made us feel. That's why I was talking about intelligent hoodlum inf. Like on that, it made us a little bit more conscious because
Absolutely.
we didn't really have discipline. We were
No,
all
we was
wild.
all over the place.
We were wild. So
Yeah.
it kind of helped us like, oh, okay, we got to
Yeah.
kind of get it together in some way.
Absolutely.
So that's really amazing, man.
Gave us some structure.
Yeah, man, please tell me, got this new joint, the recipe,
Yeah.
you know, off a nice project. Tell me, because it's got Prodigy on it. Man, walk the listeners through that. What they're about to hear.
Well, the recipe is not like it's not a cookie cut song. Like it's something that just got cut and paste together. Like me and P was actually in the room together. You know what I'm saying, recording that. And that was produced by none other than Steve Solar, aka
Dola the Goat. Shout out
You know
to
what I'm saying?
Dola.
Shout out to Steve Solar. So
The
you know,
GOAT.
we came into the studio and me and P, you know, the vibe was just like, it was just a real thick Queensbridge energy in that room, man. It was just me and him and then Steve, and we was just vibing, just kicking, you know what I'm saying, like spaced out conversations, you know what I'm saying, like, because Son is deep, like P is a deep individual, so when we have these type of conversations, you know, that's why on the song he started talking about the pyramids and the water, like he started going in, like, you know, we started smoking and shit and talking shit, you know what I mean? So it was like, it was fitting. Steve told me, he said, you need this for your album. That's what he said to me. He said, you need this for your album.
I'm gonna ask you.
Forever P.
RPP.
Yeah. So
Infamous.
I had my last conversation with him was about leather jackets, and he said he bought every leather jacket he ever seen in a rap music video from when he was a kid.
Wow.
If you can, I know you had a lot of conversations with him.
Yeah.
It was like a gem that you remember he told you.
Can you repeat that?
What was like a gem that he told you in a conversation that you had with Prodigy?
He said, we work hard to play hard. That's what he said to me. It might sound simple, but it was deep. You know what I'm saying? And what he was telling me was, there's no getting around the work. You know what I'm saying? We have to work hard. That's just the bottom line. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's where everything, that's what life, man. Whatever we want to establish for ourselves, we got to work hard to establish it.
Listen,
that's what P stood on that. That's why that's why he had all those records. That's why his music was so dope. You know what I'm saying? Because he studied.
I asked him about traveling when he was young, because they got signed young.
Right.
And they were out there. They were traveling. They were able to do their thing.
Right.
And he was like, when I was young, I was just smoking in the hotel, chilling, and then do the show, and then go back to the hotel, smoke, drink, whatever it is.
Right.
And he's like, when I got older, I bought a camera, brought my daughter on the road with me. We started going to museums, started walking through Germany like regular tourists.
Right.
And he's like, man, I missed all that shit. And I was really happy at that moment, because when I go to cities, I run, so I get to see like little cracks in the hoods and shit.
Yeah,
the best part.
And we was kind of like, I was like, man, really happy for him, on that. So, do everything you can in this one life that you have, man.
Absolutely.
Rest peacefully to Prodigy. Can't wait to get into this joint featuring Prodigy.
Yeah, the recipe.
Another thing too, I wanted to say, P.
Go for it.
P used to always say too, yo, keep your gun in the booth with you, when you rhyming as well. You know what I'm saying?
For energy?
Just for the energy, you know what I'm saying? P was my brother, man. I used to, I just seen son in so many situations. I was there when he wrote H&IC. It's different for me.
He's just facts.
Yeah, right? He was writing it. Like, literally, I'm sitting with Thun. He's saying it to me, yo, Thun, this, and then the head, and see how it is. It's just amazing. You know what I'm saying? It's terrible. We took a super L. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie. You know what I mean? Nah. So, shout out to P, man. I know he watching.
Thanks.
Yeah,
shout out
for
to
sure.
everybody, yo. Infamous. Wow.
Here we go, man. The recipe right here on Shade 45.
Oh, that's fresh. Come on and bring it out your chest. My rap, say yes, yes.